KNAC.com. Welcome. You might know my guest from one of the best and successful death metal bands coming out of Florida, known as the Commando, Pete the Feet, the father of the blast beat, the Comandante, Pete Sandoval. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello guys. Hello KNAC and my friend here.
And we are in Los Angeles for the Devastation on the Nation tour with Suffocation. How's the tour been going so far?
Great. It gets better. Every show it gets better and better. Tonight's gonna be a very one of the best so far. Last night was one of the best in San Diego. Tonight was gonna be even better. So it's getting better.
Yeah. And then mañana van a San Francisco, right?
San Francisco tomorrow, yes. Mañana.
Yes. With David Vincent, the I Am Morbid, covering Altars of Madness, Blessed Are the Sick, Covenant, Domination. Altars of Madness, known as probably one of the best death metals of all time. Best death metal albums of all time. How do you see the success of the album? Desde cuando you first recorded it hasta ahorita, what are your feelings on how you look back at when you made that record?
It is what my expectations were this actually, because back then when I was recording the songs for Altars of Madness, these songs were already classic songs written years ago before I joined the band. Classic songs that, wow, you know, that album, just like the first album. First ever written songs, you know, Mesotonic, Evil Spells, Chapel
the Blues,
Bleed for the Devil, whatever. All these songs, man, you know, and recording them on the Altars of Madness was something magical, special, I guess, a little magic that felt on me because the songs were actually very good, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I was learning, you know, I came from LA to join the band in Florida.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty hard for me in the beginning because I was not used to playing death metal double bass, you know. I was just the one, you know, I always had just one kick drum. I started playing one kick drum pretty much, 88, you know, 86, 87, blah, blah, blah. It was one kick drum, so that's how I learned to do the blast beat, you know. But anyways, it is pretty great to be now our age with the professionalism that we have, because we have been playing all over.
Right. So
we have learned. we touring, working, it's a learning experience, man. You gotta learn especially from the mistakes, you know.
Yeah.
And here we are, defeating these mistakes, you know, taking over these mistakes and doing better than ever, because we've been doing it for over 35, 40, 30 years. Come on, okay, man. I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me here.
No, it's a pleasure, Pete. Like, I've been a big fan of your drumming. I'm a drummer myself, and I thank you for all this beautiful art from Altars of Madness, Blessed Are the Sick. What was going on musically that you were listening to that was kind of, you know, you talk about like you weren't sure how to approach the band, how to approach the music. Where did you find the influence to just do what you were doing? Because there weren't many drummers doing what you were doing. You were like ahead of the game. You molded the blast beat and death metal.
Well, my influences were 1985 influences. Whatever was going on there, the thrash metal, Kill 'Em All, Show No Mercy, create so many bands, especially European bands, all right? So my aim was always to do something more extreme, still different than what was going on back then, those years when I was playing. And that's when I started doing, you know, like when I started playing the skank beat. This is the skank beat. All right. So my aim was, hey, why not do
double
the speed? And that's what I started doing in 1986, 86. And when you have all the time to practice, you're going to get something unique, something good, magic, powerful. And that's what,
Magic,
hey,
yes.
but first I thank God, man. Because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be doing this, my friends. Oh, yeah.
It's funny you say that because you like the satanic message and like all the demonic stuff and like anti-Christian, anti-religion.
I'm not religious. Religious is a fake word. That's a lie. That's to confuse humans.
Huh?
That's the word religion. Religion doesn't exist because God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, it's not a religion. His name is God, the creator. Period. Religion is get out of the religion stuff, guys, people, because you're just gonna get all lost, confused, as everybody else is in the world.
Speak the truth. That's why we're here, and I respect that. Like you tell her how it is, and people should understand. The music metal it's supposed to be about questioning and like understanding and just looking for answers. You know, not just accept all the bullshit that you're given. You know, they want people to be sheep, right? And like you don't leading the rats, right, so to speak. But like you don't want to be just led around. You want to think for yourself, right? And that's why metal, I think, speaks to a lot of metalheads, right? Like it's part of why the metal community always grows so much every time. You know?
I'm glad for them, man. I'm glad for the metal community. Yeah, there's a lot of learning, there's a lot of experiences to go through, to get where you want to go, where we're going to get, where we are.
I see on your Instagram you have a pretty awesome collection of all your years doing what you're doing. And some of it, I guess, you're kind of giving to fans or selling for fans for like for help for some animals. And I'll touch on that subject. But what do you think is your favorite piece of collection? What's something that you have that either you made or you got on the road or something like that? That kind of your favorite thing.
Well, there were some symbols that were fun for my collection. All symbols and also drumsticks. There have been a lot of old drumsticks. My signature.
Yeah.
I've gone through 2 different brands. Now I play Chroma. I was doing Vader, so I got first of all, the things I was doing with Vader sticks. I always started doing some art, man. I didn't know what to do at first when I was collecting heads here and there, a snare, toms. I started with just doing, Morbid, just signing the heads, just putting Morbid Angel. But then I started, this is another thing that I love, I kind of have a talent for drawing, for art. And I love doing art also. Right. Painting, you guys can find something. Hey, there's so many things that we can enjoy in life.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, always make art. Listening to music and making some art, and you do have a really good talent. So it's really great stuff. And we were talking about the items that you sell. You kind of help support animals, right? Like you're a big animal lover.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Talk about what do you like to do for the animals?
Well, I've rescued most of my cats that I have. My wife and I have like 5, 6 indoor cats that most of them were rescued, and I feed like 5 outdoor cats as it is now. Not just feed them, I take care of them. I give them clean water every day. I gotta look out for them as my family too. That's why I love my animals. They're my family too. I got guinea pigs. I got 3 baby guinea pigs, so they're my baby girls. And I miss them, and I love them, and I love to take care of them. And when you die, you do it because you love them.
Yeah, of course.
Not because you have to do something, but because you love to do it because you love.
As Morbid Angel and like Altars of Madness and all these albums were coming out, the Florida death metal scene was blowing up. Tell us, in your eyes, tell us some of the history, or describe to us how the Florida death metal scene was growing with you, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel. Like, how was that scene going on?
I mean, I'm not going to describe it.
It's hard, I'm sure.
because it has been done. We have seen it in our eyes how the scene have enlarged, have expanded. How many, after we, okay, the first bands. They say that for some of the first bands in Florida, there was Death, there was Morbid Angel, what are the DSI, the Amon, whatever, Obituary, Cannibal Corpse. Okay, out of that, come on, of course, in the beginning there was not. We were some of the first bands that were doing this, along with these other European bands like Such Creator, Destruction, Sodom, you name it, Bathory. Wow. Nice. So all these, helped bring these tons and tons of hundreds of bands that we have nowadays, and a lot of bands have made it. Black metal came in after death metal. Death metal was first was death metal, of course, in the 89, 90. Then came 86, 87, 88, 90. Then after that, comes the awakening of black metal, right? Black metal got big somehow, and it's still big in some areas. In fact, metal is much bigger in Europe. That's why we play more times in Europe, because over there it's more appreciated against this kind of music. But now we are proving that we are a good band here in the States as well, right? Oh, yeah. So, everything is doing great, because you know what? We were one of the first bands, along with the other bands, to start it all. And it's been so many years. Yeah. And now we're here. Yeah. And all these bands that made it after us, they're here. So I'm here, boom, a mile, boom. And it took me a while, guys, but you know what? I feel stronger than ever, and we're still gonna deliver more for new bands to come.
Hell yeah, I love that. Very well said.
That's it.
Yeah. We're here with Pete Sandoval, I Am Morbid, Devastation on the Nation, here in Los Angeles with Suffocation, Fulci, and a bunch of other great bands. It's about to kick off tonight. We have a couple more minutes. I wanted to talk to you, drummer to drummer, about your drumming. I know it's not an easy question to answer, but how did you develop your style? What kind of advice would you give drummers that are trying to really play that extreme metal?
Depends on what do they want to do, There's grindcore, there's blast beat. What do they want to do? Blast beat? Well, my advice is try to find something always that is unique to you. That will fit your character, your personality of drummer, what kind of drummer, and then there's so much of how do you call to choose from to make something. Okay, I want to get there's so much to create, man. There's so much out there to be yourself. Don't try to be, like many have tried to be, like I don't wanna be. I wanna do the blast beat. I mean, hey, bro, music is a big, large expansion. You can find happiness and success in music as long as you give it your 100% of your time and your dedication and your discipline, and then you work at it and you practice with all your might, with all your power, with all the strength, with all the faith,
Yes,
and,
I love it.
And yes, man, I used to say, believe in yourself, guys, believe in yourself.
Let's talk about drum triggers. You were doing what you were doing before drum triggers really kind of took over, I feel. Like a lot of bands, a lot of drummers, they use it now as a crutch, I want to say. But you were, even though you were using triggers, but they were working for you. You didn't have them do all the work for you. And from the times that you were recording, how would you describe did you change your playing at all when the technology was changing with recording and triggers were kind of taking over drums, or how do you see that?
Well, I started messing with triggers in the early years, as you know, because of this that we will all right, it will, I don't know, it will catch up the hits much quicker every time, right? That was the idea. But then, you know, I tried it for several years. I used to trigger my toms on my drum set pretty much. But then I found out after doing a few recordings with them, a few tours with triggers, you know, I found out that the sound was not as natural as, especially, you know, the sound of the toms. You know, I'm talking about toms and snare, things like that. Sounded too mechanical, too machine-like. So I got rid of the triggers. I don't advise you guys to do triggers unless you're gonna play some kind of music where you need to do triggers, you know, change sounds. But for playing fast, I mean, I use microphones. I started using microphones on my tom snare. I trigger my drums only. Why? It's better than two microphones.
Yeah.
Because I'm not explaining it there. You have to have a technique that yourself use
Yes.
this technique when you play,
Yes.
and this technique, hey, eventually will sound good on the front house, right? Yes.
It's a lot. It's taken, like, drumming has really come a long way.
Yeah.
And to say that you've influenced a lot of drummers is an understatement.
And the main thing
Yeah.
is that, guys, I mean, all these triggers were like, it's so much better to have the natural sound of the toms, and everybody's gonna agree with that. For death metal, it's the best way to sound in drums. You know, so nowadays there's so many great microphones that can pick up great sounds, great recordings. You know what I mean? So I advise you guys to stick with your triggers on the kick drums only. You can perhaps use a snare, both. You know, I use sometimes I use both. You know, trigger and microphone, whatever sounds the best. But hey, man, you're gonna use whatever it will require you to play what you wanna play.
Yes, very, very good.
All right.
And we have a lot of gear nerds that watch, you know, my videos and interviews. Tell us about your equipment that you're using.
Yes, I'm getting ready to get me a new D-drum drum set. I'm working with D-drum now on my drums. I've been working with them in the past also. I've been using Sabian, ProMark, Evans, Peros. You guys know my Copito, the Polish RC Copito.
Yeah.
I stuck with those.
The goat's hoof.
But there are other good pedals out there. I mean, just saying, you know, I don't. Hey,
it works for you.
And it works for me.
Yeah.
And what else there? Well, I use my Roland module to trigger for my kick drums.
And then you do what you have. You do amazing work. Pete Sandoval, I Am Morbid, Devastation on the Nation. If it's coming to your town, come see the show. You do not want to miss this. It's going to be an amazing show. Can't wait to go in there and rage. Pete Sandoval, thank you so much for your time. ¿Tienes unas palabras para tu gente, tus fans in all the world that you want to say to them?
Yes, hello everyone. Hola, todos mis amigos, todos mis fanáticos, all my fans all over the world, todo el mundo. Los quiero. Estoy aquí tocando. I'm here playing for you all. Para ustedes. Pues es que yo estaré allí ya pronto, allá o aquí donde estén ustedes, wherever you are, I'll be there. That's my plan. Keep playing these songs for you all until I can't.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, amigos. Gracias.
Yeah.